Hello and welcome to Black Bear Atheist. Today we're checking out more shorts, and the first one is a cliff short, but Daily Dose posted this. I'm not sure how this came to be. I genuinely don't care, but it's about a guy that came to. Actually, I'm wrong. This is not a cliff video. This is a Frank Turek video. I came to Frank and told him that his sister is gay or practicing homosexuality, practicing a sin. And we're gonna listen to Frank Turek's amazing response. Actually, it's been a long time since we hear Frank Turek on this channel, and I think that's for a reason. It's too much.
My sister is currently practicing homosexual, and as a brother, I have failed to have to talk to her about how I feel about her lifestyle and her choices because
Nobody cares about your feeling. Nobody actually gives a fuck about how you feel. Like, okay, you could voice out your opinion if you make your sister mad through that. Well, go straight ahead. Like, I mean, you can still voice out your opinion, but like that's your decision to make. It doesn't make sense though, because it's just your opinion. It really doesn't matter. I mean, just let the girl live. Is she hurting anybody? No. Let the girl live.
I'm afraid of losing my relationship with her.
Yeah, I know you said how I feel. How you feel is irrelevant. You're not the more.
Well, I agree, Frank. How he feels is irrelevant. How you feel is also irrelevant. And that's exactly what we're coming to. We're coming to your side and we're gonna observe how you feel, which is also irrelevant.
Moral arbiter of the universe. But I think you can start with this question. What's her name?
Her name is
Moral arbitrary. Although, no, actually. How he feels is also irrelevant because there's no evidence that he actually even exists. So when you say how he feels, that means how you feel. Translation, it just means how you feel and how the people that wrote the Bible, how other pastors feel. It's not how God feels because we don't have any evidence, a conclusive evidence to say God actually exists. So, translation, it's about how you feel about the topic. And 2 seconds ago, you said how you feel does not matter because it's not your life to live and she's not hurting anybody.
Tatiana.
Tatiana. I would say, Tatiana, if you thought I was going down a road that would hurt me and others, would you love me enough to tell me?
Hold on. Going down a road that will hurt everyone and hurt myself, that's not what's happening here. She's not going down a road that's gonna hurt anybody else. She's not going down even if the Bible is true. She's not going down on a road that will hurt anybody else. Because once his brother or brother is in heaven, guess what? He'll basically forget about her. Like my Quingo said, apparently he's gonna see the just and goodness in hell. He's gonna see how hell is a just place that her sister, his sister, deserves to be. So it really won't hurt anybody, except maybe for her if she doesn't want to go to hell. But that's a choice she has to make. But then that's based on the hypothetical that all this exists. Now back to reality, there's no evidence for any of this. So let her live her life, because she's not hurting anybody by being gay.
And then explain what you mean. When we tell people what they want to hear, we're sacrificing them to help us because we don't want to take the blowback. When we tell people what they need to hear, we're sacrificing ourselves to help them.
What people want to hear is what the church actually preach. People want to feel like they're in a community that's solely them and they deserve to be. So you hear pastors preaching, well, you don't get this from anywhere else. Well, all the other churches, preach for the masses. I preach for just the people. I preach what God wants me to preach. This is exactly what people want to hear. That they're hearing the direct word from God. So, Frank, you're also preaching what the people want to hear. If not, you wouldn't have money to even be doing any of this. That's the entire idea. That's the entire point. That's what you do. Lie.
How do you pray? I'll tell you what was
And so this is the next video talking about prayer, Paul Washer. Now, Mindshift, Brandon, he did a video on this. It's amazing. It's spectacular. Go check it out. I'm not sure what the title is. I think it's something around prayer. It's just amazing. I think he did he spend like 40 minutes on this video? No, I don't think it's that long. But it break down how stupid this entire short clip really is. But let's watch it.
how do you pray? I'll tell you what was told me many years ago. You pray until you can pray, and then you pray until you have prayed.
You pray until you can pray, and you pray until what? Okay, we're gonna listen to that again. It's like a wordplay.
Pray. And then you pray until you have prayed.
So you pray until you can pray, and you pray until you can pray, or you have prayed, rather. It's like saying, how do you fly? Well, you fly until you can fly, and you fly until you have fly. This is supposed to be a relationship between you and God. A relationship growing between you and God. You speaking to God, which it's really more like you speaking to yourself. Professor Zod also did a little video on this topic of prayer, and it's like a communication, it's like a meditation. These are atheist channels, by the way. So, like, it's basically that. And you're telling me you pray until you can pray and you pray until you have prayed. That's not telling me how to actually pray. That's not telling me what to do. That's not giving me steps of how to actually communicate with God. All this is doing is making sure even when you are not confirming yourself and feel like, oh, I have prayed to God, you all end up blaming yourself for the entire thing. You end up blaming yourself because you feel like you've done something wrong. Even when throughout the entire time, you're the one talking to yourself. And see what else he learned from this old preacher that told him this.
You break through.
Breakthrough what? I remember there was a time in church where we are like, not just one time, bunch of times where we just have bunch of praying, saying the same thing over and over and over again. Because all we were doing was talking to ourselves in our head, just talking it louder. Oh my God. Thinking back, this is a weird thing to be doing. We were talking to ourselves, just saying it out loud. And people around us, all delusional, just like we are, saying the same thing, make us feel like we're in some presence of a God when it's all still just in our head. So saying pray until you can't pray doesn't teach you how to pray, doesn't tell you what to actually do, because you're talking to yourself. It's not like God is actually there listening. And this is where the dumb idea of prayer even like it's so dumb. It's just prayer is just for you to, pour out all your problems, really. It really is to talk to yourself and make you feel more shitty. Because God will do what he wants to do because he has the free will to do whatever he wants to do. And if it's not what he wants to do, he won't do it. So what's the point of praying? Because it won't change God's mind about what he wants to do. If he ends up doing something else according to what you prayed, that means he planned to do that from the very beginning. It's not because you prayed, it's because he wanted to do that. So prayer is pointless.
You'll give him no rest.
You give him no rest. So you want me to pray all day, all week, every day of the week, all year. You give him no rest. How does that work? Because you're here preaching to the people. I don't see you praying. Are you giving God rest? Why are you doing that? Why are you giving God's rest? Why are you not praying? Just a stupid, stupid idea. You pray until you can't pray. What the fuck? You pray until you have prayed. What the hell does that mean? These are the things pastors actually say every Sunday. And people are going, like they're saying something when they're just bullshitting. This is what I caught on. This is what I realized. That they're bullshitting. They don't know shit. They just, oh, we're gonna study the Bible. They also have no idea what the fuck they're saying. But you can't even blame them because when you read the Bible, it's full of shit too. So when you're trying to translate shit and think it's from divine God, obviously you're gonna end up with bullshit. And that's what happens. You pray until you can pray. That makes no sense. No, it doesn't make any sense. None of it does. Praying does. Praying doesn't make any sense. The steps he's given to actually pray doesn't make any sense. You know why? Because it's all about you talking to yourself. That's what prayer is. It's another manipulative tool to make you feel bad about yourself when your prayers are not answered, which is going to be literally almost every time. And when the prayers are answered, you can look back for yourself. You did that shit yourself. Not because the prayer actually worked, but because you worked toward it. And that's where I found the idea quite appalling. If I pray to get a car and I start working, picking up extra shift, doing more work, working, applying for new jobs, and I finally got that car. Is that God or me? I say that to me. If I ask for a car and a car appear right outside, that is God. And because I'm like, oh, blah, blah, blah. How would you know it's God to begin with? If it's not like a miraculous thing, that's what prayer is really supposed to be about if you ask for something. Which Matthew 7:7 did not put any clause to it. It says just ask and it shall be given. So don't come with me with any stupidity of even how to pray. No, it just says ask. And if you're saying it's a communication with God, I mean, what are the response? Why is there no response? It's all to make you go insane as questions. Once you realize all this being BS, what it is, you're gonna see why prayer doesn't make any sense. Actually, as a Christian, you could technically see why it doesn't make sense. You're just denying it. And maybe you're not. You actually believe prayer works. It's just like you pray for a car today, and in the next 20 years, you're gonna get it. When God decides it's time for you to get it, or rather, when you work toward it. That's all I have for you today. Thank you all for watching. If you liked the video, please click that like button and subscribe. Have a lovely day, people. Prayer doesn't work, but you can change things by doing things that you actually want to do. That's just my opinion. Have a good one.